So hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another YouTube live session. I welcome you all. I hope you are doing good. And so we're going to talk about a very important aspect of design. As we know, the NID exam is just around the corner. And I'm sure most of you must be having butterflies in the stomach. It's very natural to have that, so nothing to worry about. Okay. And as you must have seen from the thumbnail, that the topic for today is why do students fail in part B? तो ऐसे क्या कारण होते हैं, क्या रीजंस है कि स्टूडेंट्स जो पार्ट बी को क्रैक नहीं कर पाते? Now we know that in our preparation, through our mentors, through our teachers or faculty, wherever we are studying or wherever we have been preparing for the exam, I'm sure they must have surely told you that in order to crack these exams, design exams, part B is a very essential part of this design exam. And we all know what does part B comprise of, और किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. मोस्टली सारे ड्राइंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. Okay. अब तक आप जो प्रिपरेशन करते आए हो इस पूरे साल में, तो यू हैव बीन ट्रेन्ड और यू हैव बीन गाइडेड, यू आर मेंटर्ड टू व्हाट टू डू, हाउ टू डू इट एंड व्हाई टू डू इट. अब तक हम ये सीखते आए हैं कि हमें क्या करना है, क्या प्रैक्टिस करना है, कैसे ड्रॉ करना है, कैसे टाइम मैनेज करना है, किस तरह से हमें रेफरेंस हमें देखने हैं, किस तरह रेफरेंस को हमें उसको एनालाइज करना है, उसको अंडरस्टैंड करना है और अपने ड्राइंग प्रैक्टिस में उसको अप्लाई करना है. दैट इज ऑल गुड. वो बहुत अच्छी बात है. वी हैव टू डू इट इन ऑर्डर टू क्वालिफाई और क्रैक द एग्जाम. बट बिहाइंड ऑल दिस देयर इज वन हिडन पार्ट. एक हिडन चीज है इसके पीछे. वो हिडन क्या चीज है? which often lot of students, in my experience of interaction with the students over the years who have been preparing for their exam, they overlook is that what not to do. क्या हमें नहीं करना चाहिए? So as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, we know what to do, but we don't know what not to do. So in today's session, we're going to talk about हमें क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, or if I put it in a simple term, what should we avoid? So before we begin, if you have any questions, please do write it in the chat box. So good evening, Sakshi. Good evening. Okay, so you have any questions? But I hope and assume that whatever I'm going to share in today's talk will answer most of your questions. If not, you're most welcome to share your questions in the live chat box. Okay, so with that, so let's begin today's topic. Okay, so mistakes to avoid in part B. Now, I would not call it mistakes, but I would say, I would say that it is prevention. Okay, so I would not put it as mistakes, but prevention. So I'm sure you must have heard this phrase that prevention is better than cure, right? So if we want to stop any disaster from happening, कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाए, बहुत बड़ी बुरी घटना होने से पहले अगर हम सतर्क हो जाए, if you are alert, तो we can avoid that. तो वही चीज हाँ आज हम इस सेशंस में बात करने वाले हैं. ओके, एंड आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट बी पैनिकिंग. ओके, यू मे बी अंडर स्ट्रेस. ओके, स्ट्रेस हो सकता है आपको. यू डोंट नो हाउ व्हाट टू डू. शायद यू मे बी यू आर still figuring out the puzzle of the pieces, pieces of the puzzle to okay, where should I connect them? Maybe you are feeling underprepared. You don't know what to do, kind of thing. क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं. So our focus is on the stress factor. Okay, but in today's session we're going to talk about, as I said, that we're going to remove all this. We're going to talk about, so these are the things हमें नहीं करना है. Okay, so let's look at this. Now, first of all, we have to understand that because part B, as I said, is about drawing. तो what is the psychology of drawing here? Exam की psychology हमें समझनी है. Drawing का क्या role है exam में? So since NID exam is first, so I'm going to talk specially from the NID's perspective. Now there's a reason that it is not that you are good in or bad in drawing, average in drawing, or whether you're good in drawing, that you can't crack NID or you can't crack part B questions. It is not that. Okay. everyone can draw, whether good or bad, that is secondary. हम कुछ ना कुछ हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, हमारे पास कुछ ना कुछ स्किल सेट है. What we fail to understand, or what we fail to realize, or we fail to uncover, is that what is NID is actually looking for. We failed, we overlooked it. तो मैंने शुरू में कहा था कि we overlook. तो what we do, we overlook कि actually NID is not looking for your artistic skills or how good or bad or average you draw. They are not looking for that. So that's why the first thing is that you have to understand the psychology of drawing, not focus on something which is actually not there, or the NID is actually not assessing or going to assess in this exam. So with this, let's understand some few points which you need to avoid or what you should not do. So as I said that, what is then NID is grading. So it is grading or analyzing thinking, which is disguised as drawing. Okay. So actually it is going to analyze your thinking ability, which is disguised as drawing. तो आपके ड्राइंग के थ्रू आपका थॉट प्रोसेस क्या है, आप कैसे सोचते हो, अपने आप थॉट को आप डिजाइन में कैसे अप्लाई कर सकते हो, वो टेस्ट किया जा रहा है. एंड लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, in fact, in my experience, 90% of the students, or more than 90% of the students who are preparing for this exam, they do not think. They do not think. Okay. So first lesson here is, आपको सोचना है, आपकी सोच पे हो रहा है. तो don't overlook thinking part. Okay. Drawing is there. The drawing is just a medium, just a tool. All right. Okay. So first cause of failure. क्या हम कहूँगा कि reason why students don't crack part B, they do not focus on thinking. I just said that, but they only show drawing. Okay. तो drawing meaning that, okay, मेरी drawing बहुत अच्छी होनी चाहिए कि जिसको देख के एग्जामिनर बिल्कुल इम्प्रेस हो जाए, वो पागल हो जाए मेरी ड्राइंग को देख के. So they focus on drawing and they spend time to finish that drawing. बहुत अच्छा बनाना है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा बनाना है. In that, वो time management खराब हो जाता है. We get a lot of these questions that how do I manage time? Actually, we can manage time. Each one of us who is preparing for exam manage time, but only thing is that we are following the wrong process. The wrong process is that we are focusing too much on drawing and we are underlooking thinking. Okay, तो thinking पे हमें ज्यादा फोकस करना है, ड्राइंग पे, ओनली ड्राइंग पे हमें हमें ज्यादा फोकस नहीं करना है. ऑलराइट. सेकेंड थिंग, this is again very important thing. We jump to the first idea. So avoid jumping to the first idea. So meaning that whatever idea comes to our mind, वो immediately हम draw करने लग जाते हैं. Okay, this is my idea. हाँ, मैं ये draw कर लेता हूँ, कर लेती हूँ, ये कर. So we don't pause and think. So avoid jumping to the idea. Take a seat back, take a step back, think, analyze the question, understand what is the question is telling us. Even in your practice also, this is not only applicable to the day of the exam. अभी जो भी जितने दिन, around I think 20 days are left of the exam, तो अभी हमें ये practice करना है. जब अगर हम ये चीजें avoid करेंगे ना, तो we'll be in a very fresh state of mind, very positive state of mind on the day or a day or before the day of the exam. We don't want to be going with all this confusion, okay, into the exam. That is going to will lead us into the path of failing the exam or not cracking the part B. Okay. All right. So don't jump to the first idea. So take a step back, analyze what is the question is asking, and then think, put your thought into it, थोड़ा सा analyze करो, observe करो, do some brainstorming. Okay. So a lot of students, they fail to do this. They just jump to the first idea. Second thing, this is again very important aspect. Bad or poor visual communication, and avoid this. So what do I mean by visual communication? Visual communication is that how do you present your idea? If it's your ideas or layouting, हम layouting बोल सकते हैं, presentation बोल सकते हैं, the things we have drawn, if it is very poorly communicated to us, if the examiner is not able to understand, he is going to show the thumbs up, thumbs down, right? Not thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm not able to understand that. कि क्या बनाया है, क्या स्टूडेंट कम्युनिकेट करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. So avoid, using lot of cluttered kind of presentation. I see a lot of students putting lot of, clutterness in their presentation. Just randomly putting here images here and there, annotating here and there. That creates a lot of, that is a very poor or bad visual communication. So avoid doing that. Make it a very clean, simple, neat presentation where the examiner is able to understand what is your idea all about. ये आपको अपने प्रैक्टिस में डालना है. Okay. All right. So moving on. Again, this is very important. Lot of students, I see that they focus on making a realistic rendering or drawing. Okay. As I said a while ago, maybe our focus is on to impress the examiner. Okay. Impress the examiner. Okay. मेरी drawing बहुत अच्छी होगी ना, तो examiner को पसंद आ जाएगा और मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा marks देगा. Okay. So here the exam is not about artistic skills. It is about problem solving skills. It is about coming up with creative solutions. It is about design thinking. It is about ability to solve problems, ability to analyze, all those things. It is not about an artistic presentation of your ideas. Okay. So here, do not focus on making a realistic drawing. Just instant focus a drawing good enough which can communicate your idea in a very neat and clean manner. Okay. So in your practice, here you can manage time. The time where it is going lacking or is going overused is because we are focusing on realistic drawing. Okay. So just a simple drawing is good enough to communicate an idea. If to the point you understand that, okay, here I think most likely my idea is being communicated, then you can assume that, or you can understand that even the examiner is going to understand that. Okay. So do this practice. Just focus on clean and simple drawing and avoid ultra realistic drawing. Moving on. This is also, I get a lot of students feedback from students or their queries, I would say. Does our idea need to be outside the box? So do we need to think outside the box every time? The answer is no. Not every idea has to be out of the box thinking. Okay. At times, even simple ideas could be very creative and innovative ideas. Okay. So I've seen in students' work, as I said for the drawing, कि drawing वो ultra realistic drawing करने की कोशिश करते हैं, बहुत अच्छी drawing करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो ideas में भी वो focus करते हैं कि मेरा idea out of this world होना चाहिए. My idea should be something that has been never seen before. It's good, very good. It's very good to show that. Okay. But at the same time, you have to understand that an idea is not looking for that idea which might never come to life or which might never see the day or which is intangible idea or which will never come into existence or which will never be practically possible. That is what not NID is looking for. So again, with respect to the marks, I think, as for drawing, a lot of students focus on that my idea, as I said, should be way crazy idea, wild idea hona chahiye. Okay, lekin NID is not looking for that wild idea. It's looking for very simple idea, which is practically possible and tangible idea. That is what NID is looking for. So yes, your every idea should not be outside the box. Okay. All right. So this is the thing when you're practicing. So focus on the question again, then see that whether this question solution requires a complicated idea or a very simple idea. But if you look at the PYQ questions of both NID and USEED and SEED, the solution which they ask is not very complex. They're looking for something very simple yet innovative. And it is very much possible to come up with an innovative and curative idea in simple ideas. Okay. All right. So this is very important. Okay. All right. I hope a lot of students who are focusing on thinking out of the box will this point will answer their question. Okay, moving on. So I'm sure, as I said in the beginning, my introduction to the video, that many of you, if not all of you, some of you, or maybe most of you, must be having your butterflies in the stomach, right? So that you must be panicking because of for the preparation. This is one of the biggest factor that I think that in drawing in part B impacts or affects your outcome of the result, outcome or result of your exam. The panic, panic. We press the panic button too early, and I can understand that because maybe we are not confident. Okay, we are maybe overwhelmed by the situation. Maybe that we are comparing ourselves to others. That all these situations plus other situations kind of leads to this panicking, right? So, and it's very natural to have. I can understand with that. Okay, but this point of time, at this point of time, is not about panicking. It's not about panicking. So avoid panicking, because panicking will make matters worst. वो जो आपका जो सिचुएशन है उसको और वर्स्ट कर देगा rather than improving it. Okay. So that's why whatever preparation we have and whatever preparation we can do in the coming days which we have in our hands, we should be optimistic. We should be in that frame of mind that okay, I just need to present what I can think, what ideas I can generate, how I can solve problems. So there is nothing to panic about. So as I just mentioned a slide before, that we're talking about the ideas. It doesn't have to be, every idea needs to be out of the box thinking. Sometimes simple ideas also can work. So in your preparation and during exam, whichever questions we don't know, हमें नहीं पता कि कौन से questions आएंगे, none of us know, but there is nothing to panic about. If we stay calm and composed, we can crack the exam. It is very much possible. Okay, so remove that panic button from your life or from your preparation at this point of time. Okay, this is also another very big factor. And in conversation with the students, I've come across some students that who are overconfident or some are inconfident. Okay, they do not have or underconfidence. Overconfidence also is a very big factor that can kill your exam, can kill your, the outcome you are looking for or you are expecting. Because in overconfidence, there are two things. मैं दो सिचुएशन आपको मैं शेयर करना चाहूंगा या बताना चाहूंगा कि पहला ये चीज है कि आप या अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस है या इन कॉन्फिडेंस है, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है उतना, या आप ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस है। तो पहले मैं इन कॉन्फिडेंस की बात करता हूँ। तो इन कॉन्फिडेंस मतलब कि यू आर इन अ सिचुएशन, यू माइट बी फीलिंग एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम और इन योर प्रिपरेशन दैट कि जो मेरी प्रैक्टिस चल रही है या मेरी जो प्रिपरेशन चल रही है, मेरे से ये चीज ड्रॉ नहीं हो रहा, या मैं इस तरह के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं कर पा रहा, या मुझे आइडियाज नहीं आ रहे हैं, तो मैं इस एग्जाम को कैसे मैं क्लियर कर पाऊंगा या कर पाऊंगी। मे बी ये मुझे नहीं आ रहा है, तो दिस इज द थिंग दैट आई माइट फेल इन द एग्जाम और आई माइट नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन विच विल कम इन द एग्जाम। जो प्रोडक्ट आइडियाज है, डिजाइन आइडियाज जो है, मैंने पिछले वीडियो में इसके बारे में कवर कर रखा है। आई टॉक्स एक्सटेंसिवली अबाउट दैट, तो यू कैन गो एंड चेक आउट दैट वीडियो ऑन काफा स्टूडियोज प्लेलिस्ट ऑन द चैनल। ओके, तो वहां पर मैंने एक बहुत अच्छा सिंपल प्लान ऑफ एक्शन दे रखा है आपको, कैसे आप कॉन्फिडेंस आप अपना रख सकते हैं थ्रू इन जनरेटिंग आइडियाज। ओके, तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस या अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस दैट विल इम्पैक्ट योर रिजल्ट। दूसरा ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस। तो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस में आई हैव मेट स्टूडेंट्स दैट दे फील ओके मेरी ड्राइंग बहुत अच्छी है, मैं तो बहुत अच्छा ड्रॉ करता हूँ या बहुत अच्छा ड्रॉ करती हूँ, या फिर कि मुझे जिस दिन ड्राइंग आ जाएगा या जिस दिन ड्राइंग आ जाएगा उस दिन मैं प्रैक्टिस करूंगा या करूंगी। These are the two things which I observed in students. In this shows that they are overconfident कि मैं जब ड्राइंग सीख लूंगी या सीख लूंगा तब मैं एग्जाम क्रैक कर लूंगा, मैं तो कर लूंगा ना, झंडे गाड़ दूंगा। या दूसरा कि मुझे बहुत ड्राइंग आती है तो मुझे प्रैक्टिस करने की क्या जरूरत है, मुझे मैं तो उस दिन जाके ना एग्जाम वाले दिन मैं सबको पछाड़ दूंगा, I'll secure rank 1. That is the sign of overconfidence. And you never know the preparation or with the mindset you be going to the exam. मान लीजिए ऐसा क्वेश्चन आ गया जिसके लिए आप प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं थे, और यू डिड नॉट प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट, दैट कुड बी द डाउनफॉल of you. This has happened. This has happened in real life. So I'm telling you from our own experience. This has happened to students. We know that in overconfidence, they have brought down the downfall has been the overconfidence, the downfall of their exam. Okay, so avoid having this overconfidence, especially at this point of time, and also underconfident. Okay, in confidence, you just need to be just stay calm and composed. Okay, all right. So this is a very psychological part of it. I would suggest every student to think about it. All right. Here, there's this. I don't know if you've heard about this phone, or this is called of a response, which is called fight, flight, and freeze. Okay, so this is you can say like a anecdote to face a situation. तो ये सिचुएशन जो है, ये आप एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन और एग्जाम वाले दिन भी इसको आप अप्लाई कर सकते हो. तो इसमें 3 स्टेजेस हैं. 3 स्टेजेस है. पहला है फाइट, दूसरा है फ्लाइट, और तीसरा है फ्रीज. एंड आई नो दैट एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम 90 to 95% of students are in flight mode or in freeze mode. They are not in fight mode. Okay, so again I repeat, either they are in flight mode or they are in freeze mode. They are not in fight mode. So just let me briefly explain what is this fight, flight, and freeze. I'll talk about fight later. First, I'll talk about the flight and freeze. जो नहीं करना है, ये सेशन है जो नहीं करना है, right? तो फ्लाइट क्या है? फ्लाइट क्या है? फ्लाइट ये है कि जब हम कोई प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, चाहे हम पीवाई के क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, या हम चैट जीपीटी से क्वेश्चन जनरेट करके प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, या हमें जो टेस्ट दिया जा रहा है हमारे मेंटर्स के द्वारा, जहाँ भी हम ट्रेनिंग ले रहे हैं, जहाँ भी प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, जब हम क्वेश्चन को देखते हैं, जब हमें वो आता नहीं है तो हम भाग जाते हैं. वी रन अवे. रन अवे मीन्स नॉट लिटरली रनिंग अवे. यू डोंट गेट अप एंड रन अवे. बेसिकली इज दैट कि आप वो क्वेश्चन को अवॉइड कर देते हो, आप कुछ नहीं कर देते हो, यू जस्ट गिव अप. यू जस्ट गिव अप. तो वो बेसिकली एक फ्लाइट है कि आप भाग गए वहां से. ठीक है. दूसरा, अगर आप फ्लाइट नहीं हो तो आप फ्रीज हो जाते हो. फ्रीज मीनिंग दैट जो माइंड गोज ब्लैंक, योर माइंड गोज ब्लैंक. और ये जो क्रिएटिविटी ब्लॉक की मैं बात करूँ, क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक जो होता है ना, हम फ्रीज हो जाते हैं. तो वी आर जस्ट लुकिंग एट द क्वेश्चन लाइक दिस एंड वी आर पॉन्डरिंग कि इसमें करना क्या है मुझे, what should I draw or what should I design. That is the freeze mode we go into. Okay, and this, as I said, more than 90 to 95% students suffer from this. And I think maybe as you're watching this video, you also, some of you, if not all of you, must be feeling or undergoing either of these 2 phases. Okay, all right. So to avoid this, what is the solution? The solution is fight. Okay, so solution is fight. Okay, so whatever I said before this slide, जो भी मैंने बताया pointers क्या नहीं करना है, वही हमारा fight है. That is our fight. Okay, all right. So if you're willing to fight, the things will become very easy. Will become very easy. You just try it out. आप try करके देखो. जो भी आपके एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन जो टाइम बचा है, आप ये करके देखो. डोंट रन, भागो मत. ठीक है. इफ नीडेड, टेक फीडबैक, टेक हेल्प फ्रॉम अ मेंटर, फ्रॉम एन एक्सपर्टीज. ओके, डोंट पैनिक. फ्रीज मोमेंट वो पैनिक ही है, आप पैनिक में फ्रीज हो जाओगे आप. ऐसा, तो ये चीज हमें नहीं करना है. और पार्ट बी में मोस्टली होते हैं. वी हैव ऑब्जर्व, वी हैव फ्रॉम एक्सपीरियंस, आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस हैपेंस. ओके, ऑलराइट. Okay. All right. So I would like to leave with you guys with an very famous phrase by an American essayist whose name is Ralph Waldo Emerson. So there's a very famous quote by him called, "Every artist was first an amateur." Please remember this. Every artist was first an amateur. Okay. So what does this mean? दुनिया में जो भी फेमस आर्टिस्ट, डिजाइनर्स, स्कल्पचर, जो भी एक क्रिएटिव फील्ड में से जो निकले हैं ना, वो भी कहीं ना कहीं आपके जैसे या मेरे जैसे कभी ना कभी बिगिनर थे. तो दे ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच. तो वॉट एवर सिचुएशन यू आर फीलिंग right now at this point of time, they also in their life face the same situation in their phase of life when they decided to pursue this creative field or artist field. Okay, so you're not alone in this. Even the greatest artists in this world, greatest designers, greatest sculptors, greatest creative people have gone through this process which you are right now going through. Okay, I hope this quote sticks to your mind, sticks to your mindset. Okay, in the end, we have taught you, you are learning, you have learned from us what we need to do. Okay, हमें प्रिपरेशन क्या करना है, हमें ड्राइंग कैसे प्रैक्टिस करनी है, हम सब जानते हैं. वी हैव टॉक्ड मेनी टाइम्स अबाउट इट. Okay, but right now it's to, you know, focus on what not to do and what is the actual exam is looking for. जो मैंने शुरू में बताया, तो it's all about the mindset. It's all here. So we need to stay composed and calm, and I'm sure that you will crack the exam. Okay, and I hope that all these points mostly answered your questions, right? And if any questions are there, yes, I'm looking at some of the points, that some comments which I will let. Okay, so one question is asked by Varun is that, so I have 2 or 3 ideas. How we will know which is good? Yes, this is a very common question I get from time to time. Okay, and see, it's good to have 2 to 3 ideas. It's good to have 2 to 3 ideas. Okay, and to choose which is the best. So there's no such thing called, best ideas. So it is all about that, which is the solution or idea which is the most promising or which solves the problem in a better way or the best way. Okay. Now, if you have 2, 3 ideas, one thing we can do is that we can always take something from one idea, take something from other idea, and combine them to make it I won't say a foolproof solution, but a solution which is most feasible. So we have to talk, we have to think about, or you have to analyze about, okay, which is the most tangible idea in this case. Okay. So don't focus on the best solution, as I said. Okay. And think more of like, okay, which is the best promising solution. So I hope it answers your question. Okay. So another one from Bhavna, she says that you're not able to manage your time while attempting questions. Okay. So this is again another common problem we see. This is another common problem we see in students. Time management is again like practice. So I would advise you to put a timer for every question. So for example, maybe put a timer of 20 minutes for one question. Could be sketching composition, could be problem solving, could be coming with creative ideas, and see that within that time limit, how much you are able to complete, or how many solutions you are able to come up with. Okay. And this will give you an idea that within 20 ideas, how much I can, पुट डाउन ऑन द पेपर. मैं कितना ड्रॉ कर सकती हूँ, कर सकता हूँ, या कितने आइडियाज को मैं कम्युनिकेट कर सकता हूँ, मेरी प्रेजेंटेशन कितनी अच्छी बन सकती है, कंप्लीटली वो समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. ठीक है. बिकॉज अगेन टाइम मैनेजमेंट अगेन इज बेस्ड ऑन योर स्टाइल ऑफ वर्किंग, योर स्टाइल ऑफ थिंकिंग. तो यहाँ पर कुछ मैं आपको कुछ कोई कॉन्क्रीट सोल्यूशन नहीं बता सकता, बिकॉज इट गोज फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन, डिपेंड्स फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. इट इज ऑल डिपेंड्स कि आप कैसे आपका अप्रोच क्या है, प्रिपरेशन का कैसा है, वो उस पर बहुत लार्जली डिपेंड करता है. राइट. बट सडनली आई वुड एडवाइस कि रैंडमली कुछ ऐसे विदाउट पुटिंग एनी टाइम आप प्रैक्टिस मत करो. पुट अ टाइमर एटलीस्ट 20 मिनट्स आई वुड से ऑन एवरेज, और विद इन 20 मिनट्स आप जो भी क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो उसको कंप्लीट करने की कोशिश करो. फिर आप एनालाइज करो कि 20 मिनट्स में आप कितने कंप्लीट कर पाए. कुड बी 45%, कुड बी 50%, कुड बी 65%, कुड बी 75%. एंड वॉट एवर यू आर एबल टू रन, वॉट एवर इज लेफ्ट, ट्राई टू नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट ट्राई टू मैनेज दैट. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से दैट आप 55% ही ड्रॉ कर पाए, तो दैट मीन्स 45% बचा है. तो नेक्स्ट 45% आप कैसे विद इन दैट 20 मिनट्स आप कैसे कवर करोगे. थोड़ा सा सोचो कि कहाँ बहुत ज्यादा टाइम ले रहे हो आप. So where are you taking time? So if you're taking time too much on thinking, so try to reduce the time consumed for thinking. Maybe think balance out with thinking and immediate execution. Okay. So that is how you can manage it. Okay. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. So there's a question that I think it's about human figure drawing. That your Nandini says that how to develop gestures and how do I come up with a character. Okay. Now with gestures kind of thing, okay, so you don't have to practice or draw all the gesture or action pose because there are infinite action poses or gestures. आप हर कोई gesture or posture को master नहीं कर सकते. It takes lot of years to uh, like master or become expertise in drawing every posture or action. You just have to focus on एक्शन और पोज विच वी सी इन आर एवरीडे लाइफ. हो सकता है जो हम भी कर रहे होंगे. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मे बी राइटिंग समथिंग, लिफ्टिंग समथिंग, ओके, पिकिंग समथिंग, वॉकिंग, ओके, मे बी स्विंगिंग अराउंड लाइक वेविंग लाइक दिस, ओके, और पॉइंटिंग लाइक दिस. ये हम तो ऐसे कुछ एक्शंस हम डेली बेसिस में करते हैं. ठीक है. तो हमें ये एक्शंस को हमें आना चाहिए कि उसका ड्रॉ करने का तरीका क्या होता है, उसको हम कैसे फ्यू लाइंस में कैसे उसको कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं, है ना. एंड विद इन दैट बाकी पोस्चर और जेस्चर्स भी हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. वी जस्ट नीड टू मॉडिफाई. ओके. ऑलराइट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल if I if I'm writing, right, if I'm writing, so we know that we depending on whether we are right-handed or left-handed. अगर हम right-handed हैं तो हम the mostly we write left to right, हम सारे left to right ही लिखते हैं, right? Okay. What about if there's a thing that okay, what if I say that we have to draw from the opposite direction, okay. लिखने का तरीका वही है, बस एक डायरेक्शन चेंज हो गया. ठीक है. तो व्हाट वी नो, तो उस पर जब हमें न्यू टेक्निक में जाना है या न्यू मेथड में करना है, तो इट्स इजी टू स्विच रादर देन थिंकिंग ऑफ समथिंग वेरी वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स पोस्चर और जेस्चर. ओके. ऑलराइट. ओके. सो जस्ट प्रैक्टिस द कॉमन बेसिस पोस्चर एंड जेस्चर एंड एक्शन जो है मोस्टली उस तरीके को पूछा जाता है. नथिंग वेरी फैंसी और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं पूछा जाता है. ओके. Okay, so there are some questions that how can I design mascot or any tips for storyboard from Varun? Mascot is something not very frequently asked in exam. Mascot is all about illustration. तो mascot का बहुत सारे हम तरीके से बना सकते हैं. It is all about our creativity. The mascot is all about not anatomically being perfect, but something more of cartoonist style, something more what we see in animated movies. तो उस तरह का हम मैस्कॉट डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. स्टोरी बोर्ड, ये स्टोरी बोर्ड के लिए मैं आपको बहुत अच्छा एक सजेशन दे सकता हूँ सबको कि स्टोरी बोर्ड इज ऑल अबाउट विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग. और बहुत बार क्वेश्चन ये पूछे जाते हैं कि विदाउट टेक्स्ट विजुअली इस स्टोरी को नरेट करो. ओके. तो स्टोरी बोर्ड में आप जितने भी फ्रेम्स आपको ड्रॉ करना है, वेदर 5 फ्रेम्स है, 6 फ्रेम्स है, जो भी नंबर ऑफ फ्रेम्स जो आते हैं क्वेश्चंस में, आपको वो फ्रेम जो है, फ्रेम बाय फ्रेम जो है आपका एक स्टोरी कंटिन्यूस फ्लो में चलना चाहिए. मीनिंग दैट योर फर्स्ट फ्रेम शुड सेट अप द प्लॉट और थीम फॉर द स्टोरी. इट इज लाइक द इंट्रोडक्शन. सो व्हाट इज योर स्टोरी ऑल अबाउट. देन सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट ऑलवेज थिंक ऑफ अ थीम. आप हमेशा एक थीम के बारे में सोचो कि आप कौन से थीम आपका स्टोरी आप बनाना चाहते हो, किसका आपके स्टोरी बोर्डिंग आप कौन से थीम में करना चाहते हो. सो व्हेन यू हैव अ थीम देन यू विजुलाइज एंड अंडरस्टैंड और ट्राई टू विजुलाइज और ट्राई टू थिंक कि मैं इस थीम को कैसे मैं अलग अलग छोटे छोटे स्टोरीज में इसको मैं कैसे ब्रेक डाउन कर सकता हूँ. ओके. हाउ डू आई ब्रेक दिस डाउन दिस फुल स्टोरी इनटू स्मॉल स्मॉल सेक्शंस. यू जस्ट नीड टू कनेक्ट दिस सेक्शंस. आपके पास पूरी एक कंप्लीट स्टोरी बन जाएगी. थर्ड पार्ट इज दैट योर स्टोरी शुड हैव अ बिगिनिंग, a middle एन एंड, यानी जब स्टोरी जब आप एंड करते हो तो शुड नॉट लीव द ऑडियंस, और इन दिस केस एन एग्जामिनर, थिंकिंग ओके हुआ क्या, एंड में हुआ क्या. तो he should not, he or she whoso is going to evaluate your paper should not feel while examining that okay, abruptly end नहीं करना है. आपने abruptly end किया. I'm seeing that a lot of students are abruptly ending the story and I'm kind of in a dilemma कि अच्छा इसके बाद कुछ होना है, लेकिन मतलब क्या हुआ इसके बाद में, इसका end result क्या होगा इसका. So you have to end your story. So that's how you do storyboarding. Okay, so another from Vrutika, we have that so how do I break down the problem to understand what is being asked, what is expected, especially when the question includes a situation? Okay, that's a very good question that Vitika, that how do I break down a problem to understand? Okay, here I have been saying this many times to a lot of students while I evaluate also as well, that कि आपको question properly आपको पढ़ना है. A lot of students are not reading the question properly. You have to identify the key words. उस पूरे क्वेश्चन में कीवर्ड्स क्या है, कीवर्ड्स क्या है. ओके, वो कीवर्ड हो सकता है मे बी दैट लेट्स से टू अ सिचुएशन. मैं एक एग्जांपल लूंगा यहाँ पर, जो सीड में प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है. So I would pick a question from previous year question, that is there's a question given I think in 2021 which was showed the picture of people boarding a general compartment of a train on a railway station. And the question read that identify 10 design problems in this context. Okay. Now the key word is in that is 10 design problems. Design is the key word. Okay, that means the problems which we need to identify, it has to be related to the design. Design wise उस situation में क्या problems है. Okay, so like this only you have to identify the key words in the question. What is actually the question is asking. Okay, sometimes the questions may not be direct, but at most times when I have analyzed the questions, PYQ questions, at most time the answer is in the question itself. What is that answer? The answer is the keywords. कि this is what you have to design, this is the situation. तो आपको दो चीजें देखनी है कि सिचुएशन क्या बोल रहा है, बोल क्या था. क्वेश्चन को आप दो तीन बार पढ़ो, बार बार पढ़ो, and try to figure it out कि this is the situation given to us and this is what we have to do. So look for those keywords, look for this, and this is what a lot of students are overlooking. Okay, all right, I hope I answered your question, Rutika. Okay, Harsha says that I get very confused when attempting questions. I can't draw until my mind is clear on what to draw. Okay, so again the confusion is, again I would just I said what I said just to the question asked by Rutika is that confusion arises because we are not reading the question properly. Okay, and as far as the visualization part is concerned, that what to draw until we don't understand the question, हमें कैसा पता चले कि हमें ड्रॉ क्या करना है. तो अंडरलाइंग प्रॉब्लम क्या है? इट इज नॉट अंडरलाइंग प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट कि आई एम स्ट्रगलिंग टू ड्रॉ. इट इज अंडरलाइंग प्रॉब्लम इज दैट वी हैव फेल्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन. Okay, all right. So this is something that you have to focus on. You understand the question properly, read the question again and again. All right, okay. Okay, so there's a question on seed. What if a question said to make product from something on given object, but what if I never use or see that object? Now usually in seed, जो ऑब्जेक्ट की जो आप बात कर रहे हो, तो मोस्टली वो फॉर्म सेंसिटिविटी का क्वेश्चन आता है जिसमें हमेशा एक रेफरेंस इमेज दिया होता है. तो आई थिंक सीड यू डू नॉट वरी अबाउट. ओके, yes, if in NID if it comes, then yes, there are millions and millions of products which not everyone has used. Okay, but if you look at the questions, ऐसा प्रोडक्ट नहीं दिया जाता है जो हम नहीं यूज करते हैं. वी ऑलवेज द प्रोडक्ट्स इफ इट इज गिवन, अगर वो दिया भी जाएगा तो वो कहीं ना कहीं हमने यूज किया होगा. ओके, तो इट विल नॉट बी समथिंग दैट you will be given a product which we do not have any solution or we have no idea about it. So I don't think so that such kind of products will be asked. All right, so I hope that answer your questions. Online resources. Okay, so online resources, I would say that there's a website called yankodesign.com. Okay, so yankodesign.com, which is kodesign.com. So it's a very good resources for lot of design ideas, product or design ideas. There are और भी बहुत सारे categories है. You should definitely check out that. Come in say more time visualizing. Okay, Nandini says that creative based questions that come in C take more time in visualizing a creative scene. I can draw exceeding my time limit. Okay. So I think again you're talking from the time management issue. Uh, so creativity is something, as I said, doesn't have to be a very fancy idea. If your ideas is not very fancy, very complex, I think you can draw within the time. The time management should not be issue. I don't think so. Okay, so Pranita says that how to solve product design question in just 20 minutes, like how to generate idea in such limited time. Okay, so uh, say 20 minutes is just an average time because exam has a time limit. So we do not have the liberty or luxury of taking an extra time. Now for how to come up with an ideas, I have already talked about my in my previous video. Please do check out that video, how to think about ideas, apply those principles, those methods, and practice them. We will surely able to come up with design ideas. But just to add to that, design ideas comes from observation. So whatever you're practicing, so let's say that you have to redesign a bottle. You have to redesign a bottle. That's an example that you should take an existing product at your home. आप उसको एनालाइज करो, आप ये सोचो कि इसको मुझे रीडिजाइन करना है. So you have to need to analyze that product. What is the product shape, form, usability, ergonomics, user friendly है कि नहीं है, user centric design है कि नहीं है. Then think of if you need to find the flaws. You need to find the flaws. If there are any flaws, उस flaws को आप कैसे उसको आप रिजॉल्व करोगे, उसको फ्लॉज का कैसे सोल्यूशन निकालोगे, वही आपके आइडियाज हैं. ओके, तो डू प्रैक्टिस, वो आप वैसे प्रैक्टिस करो. ऑलराइट. ओके सर, समवन से लक्ष्य है ड्राइंग एवरेज चलेगा क्या सर? ओके, तो अगेन ड्राइंग इज अ वेरी सब्जेक्टिव थिंग. We cannot put a very average or bad drawing. I have not put it in terms of measurement कि bad, good or very good या बहुत poor. The thing is that the drawing in an exam is it should be that good enough कि कोई भी उसको देख के समझ में आए कि आपने ड्रॉ किया क्या है. ठीक है, एज आई मेंशन इधर आर्टिस्टिक नहीं होना है. आर्टिस्टिक नहीं होना है. दिस इज नॉट एग्जाम अबाउट इलस्ट्रेशन. आर्ट का एग्जाम नहीं है. दिस इज एग्जाम अबाउट डिजाइन. ओके, so drawing is just a tool which you have to use to just to communicate an idea. In that, I think the drawing should not be overwhelming. Overwhelming means that आपने बहुत ही artistic बना दिया समझाने के लिए. Then you're showing that and आप deliberately या बहुत ही desperately आप ऐसे ड्राइंग बनाना चाह रहे हो कि you want to convince the examiner. वो convince नहीं करना है उसको, आपको अपने ideas communicate करना है. So it should be good enough where your understanding is understandable. Okay. So Jasmine says that when time is running out, what should we prioritize? Pushing a clean final drawing or showing multiple rough ideas? Okay, so yes, your drawing should be clean and neat, should not be really rough. Okay, your main sketch, main idea एक आपका अच्छा neat and clean drawing होना चाहिए. Okay, not everything should be rough. क्योंकि rough क्या होता है? Rough is basically that ये इसको और refinement की जरूरत है. That means it needs more refinement. So do not leave it at rough stage. एक clean, neat drawing पे आप एटलीस्ट एक स्केच को, जो मेन स्केच है, जो आपका मेन आइडिया है, वो आपका क्लीन एंड नीट ड्राइंग होना चाहिए. Okay, so Anshika says that last year design a game. Can you please how to solve it? Okay. Means we are not sure that again the game design question will be asked. Okay. But usually an idea does not repeat that questions. ऐसे questions repeat नहीं करते हैं. गेम डिजाइन के वो करेंगे कि ऑलरेडी पूछा गया, हमेशा उनका पैटर्न चेंज रहता है. ओके, तो गेम डिजाइन का अगर आ भी जाता है, विच आई डोंट थिंक विल कम, इट्स वेरी स्पेकुलेटिव, इन माय ओपिनियन शुड नॉट कम बिकॉज पैटर्न रिपीट नहीं होता है एनआईडी का. एनीवेज अगर वो आ भी जाता है तो गेम डिजाइन आपका बेसिकली क्या है कि आपका गेम मैकेनिक्स क्या है, कि गेम कैसे खेला जाएगा, उसका रूल्स रेगुलेशंस क्या है, उसका आउटकम क्या है उसका, और गेम प्ले जिसको हम बोलते हैं गेम प्ले क्या है. आई थिंक दीज आर द थिंग्स, 4 to 5 थिंग्स. आप इसके बारे में स्टडी कर सकते हो, आप उसके बारे में पढ़ सकते हैं ऑनलाइन. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ रिसोर्सेस. Okay, all right. So another question we have that in sketching, which type of shading is fast and good looking too? Hatching or blending? Okay, so बोथ आर कैन यू कैन अप्लाई। हैचिंग एक बहुत क्विक है, लेकिन आपको हैचिंग करना आना चाहिए, कैसे हैचिंग करते हैं। अगर आपको हैचिंग करने नहीं आता है तो आप कुछ ट्यूटोरियल्स देख सकते हो यूट्यूब पे, हैचिंग कैसे करते हैं। दूसरा ये शेडिंग, अगर शेडिंग एक बहुत थोड़ा क्विकर प्रोसेस है, तो क्विक शेडिंग जस्ट दिखाने के लिए, जेस्चर दिखाने के लिए कि ये वो फॉर्म 3 डायमेंशनल है या फॉर्म ऐसा है, तो क्विक शेडिंग भी कर सकते हैं। डजंट हैव टू बी अगेन अल्ट्रा रियलिस्टिक। Okay, so Mr. Master says that so do we need to draw realistic or like more kind of cartoonish? So I already answered that question in this session that doesn't have to be realistic. It is more about just showing your idea, drawing to a level which is good enough to communicate. I already answered that question. Okay. All right. So yes, cartoonish kind of drawing will we do. Comic style drawing will do. Uh, Pranita said, will NID 2020 MDES paper pattern similar? We don't know. As we know that new pattern will be followed. So we are all kind of also unsure. So we are waiting for the exam to happen. So we really don't know what pattern will come. We are not sure about this. Okay, so someone, Ankita says that how can we make those random perspective more natural, which are most RCNID, like something from a toddler's point of view? Okay, so natural, to show something natural, make sure that your perspective is not distorted or warped. That means बहुत extreme perspective नहीं करना है, तो आपके जो vanishing points हैं वो बहुत close नहीं होने चाहिए, toward the center नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be as wide as possible. The moment your vanishing points are closer to each other, the sketch will look more distorted or warped. You need to choose a wide angle as possible. That will make a sketch very natural. Okay. So another question is that how do I understand what's expected when a question asks to merge two unrelated products like a kazoo and a kite? Okay. All right. So this is a very abstract kind of question that it tests your that can you push your creativity. So can you come up with a creative idea where two unrelated things are given? Okay. So so expectation here is that कि आपकी creativity आप कितनी push कर सकते हो. Okay. So very abstract ideas में भी तो आप कैसे creativity कितने abstract कि you make something sensible out of an abstract idea. That is what is the objective is. So something making sense out of which is nonsense, you can say that, or which does not, or which is very weird. Okay, so even in that, if you can come up with a creative, tangible idea, that is what they are looking for. Okay, so think of something कि उन दोनों ऐसे दो unrelated products को हम combine करेंगे तो उससे हम एक tangible product idea हम निकाल सकते हैं. All right, so I hope Ritika that answers your question. So, okay, Khem Fateh says that as you know, NID change pattern, what time they would give for part B, or are they doing like seating? So this will be given in your admit card. Okay, so all the timing of the exams and everything will be given in the admit card. Okay, all right. Where can I get product and poster story questions to practice daily? Okay, so Prachi says that, okay, so there's a lot of resources. That is the Pinterest पे आप पोस्टर डिजाइन आप देखो, बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स मिल जाए, प्रोडक्ट्स के भी आपको बहुत सारे मिल जाएंगे, स्टोरी बोर्ड के क्वेश्चंस भी मिल जाएंगे, आप चैट जीपीटी आप यूज कर सकते हो. ओके, टू लुक एट सम पीवाई के क्वेश्चंस, आप उसके बेस पे आप क्वेश्चंस बना सकते हो. Okay, so yes, you can mail your questions so in your work. Okay, you can speak to our team. Okay, we can speak to a team for the work evaluation. आप हमारी टीम को आप reach out कर सकते हो. Okay, all right. Okay, so C200 had such merging question where it was asked to merge a doll with a kettle. Okay, so okay, is it a question or something? I didn't understand. So I hope I have answered all your questions. Okay, so there is one thing I like to share before we end the session. Okay, this is for everyone. So Kafal is starting a 14-day crash course for NID, which is going to start from 5th December. So all these 14 days, we have daily sessions, and there's going to be 2 All India mock tests, which will be given to you. If you want your feedback, so as someone says that where can we, so you can join this course. You'll get a regular feedback on your work with what you need to do, what you need to avoid, feedback on your work, on everything. आपको A to Z आपका उसमें feedback मिलेगा, live sessions होंगे ऐसा, ठीक है. There is discount also as well. So if you use this code, so my code called Manish01, so you get a rupees 2000 off on the course. Okay, so if you wish to join this course, you can contact a team, Kafka Studio team. There's a link also given on the chat box where you can enroll for the course. For any queries regarding this crash course, please reach out to the team. Okay, all right. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this session. I think a lot of learning you learned from this, and I hope all the things which I mentioned will help you in your preparation. Okay, and so with that, and so we end this session and see you soon. So bye, take care, bye.